Hi Astrii, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. What pronouns do you prefer to use?
I tend to use he, they most of the time, but my pronouns shift as I am a gender fluid person.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We love gender fluid people.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this name for yourself?
I when I was choosing the name Astrii, I was coming off of choosing the name Angela's Ginger, kind of basic thing. But I just kind of spammed like a bunch of like space related names and then prefixes and suffixes into a Discord chat, and then I was like, okay, that works. And here we are 2 years later. Actually, 3 now, I think.
Oh, nice.
2,
Apparently
3 years.
stick.
I do not know. It's been a while.
What would you say when did you first became passionate about content creation?
So I remember before I actually made my channel, I would always I would always play Minecraft and pretend that I was like recording videos and whatnot, even though I didn't like have any kind of like setup or anything, and it was just me like messing around at my console. But then I did start making content, even though I didn't like make content right. And then I think like around the time that I actually started like feeling the best about it and most passionate about my content was probably about like 2-3 years ago when I first got my desktop computer, because before that I either was using a phone or a pretty laggy laptop to make content.
Everyone has to start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere. I started from a laptop that could barely run Windows.
At least it had a video card. So,
Somehow. Barely.
does your friends and family knows about that you are making content?
I ended up telling them, and I think it was more difficult than coming out, even though I kind of regret it, depending on the person. But it's like my whole family kind of knows, while they do kind of mess with me for it because they don't really like it. But it's like, how else am I gonna explain screaming penis at the top of my lungs in a apartment building full of 80-year-olds?
You know what?
And then also like wait, I also have to be like, you cannot come into my room for like 24 hours, and they're like, why can't I? And it's like, okay, well, I'm trying to do, all right, well, because I'm planning a 24-hour stream, right? And it's like you gotta, it's like I could never stream without telling them, because they're just like, and then my sister, she just actively stalks me basically, which is another can of worms. But
Just get them
like
involved with your content.
she'll just bring out, or she'll just start watching the stream, and then anytime I swear, she starts yelling at my dad, saying that I'm swearing and trying to be like, and trying to get like her grubby little hands into it, and it's like, and like I get super annoyed because it's like my sister and is not allowed to uh well, I'm not allowed to lock my room door, so she can come in whenever she wants, and that's really fucking annoying, to say the least.
You need to get a sign on your door that streaming.
I I'm not allowed to,
Oh,
because I share the room, or like
yeah,
quote unquote
that's
share the room.
problematic.
I'm meant to share the room, but because you can tell I'd see all my crap on the extra
Yeah.
bed, because I obviously like I'm unorganized to the millionth power. She obviously sleeps in another room and still only acts like it's her room when it benefits her. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully it will be right.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm moving soon, so I won't have to like be bothered by that and whatnot anymore. So,
That's fair. If
yeah.
you could go back and give an advice to this younger self of you, what advice would you give?
Probably to just be patient. I mean, the thing with my whole content was that I started making content when I was very young, like very, very young. And the thing is that it's obviously not like I can just like start being good at it right away, because I was always originally like really impatient about it, because it's like, why can't this happen to me? Why can't that happen to me? And it's like, well, obviously not, because you do not know what you're doing. So maybe you should just be patient instead of just expecting yourself to blow up every 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's rare when
Like,
people immediately get the
it's
attention.
yeah, it's like, and it's like you don't want to get the attention immediately, so then you don't like automatically have to, so you don't learn the kind of things that you need to learn. It's like when you're making content, it's like you need to learn how to properly make content, or or the person you want to be when it comes to making content.
Yeah.
And like, no matter how much you can plan that before launching your career, there's still so much more that you learn when you're on the job, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's trial and error to get
Yeah,
there.
it's like you can study the algorithm before launching your channel all you want. That's not going to say anything, because there's always like, no matter how much the algorithm is just based in like math and human nature and how much you can study that, you still will not understand what a singular person thinks. And at the start, it's just about a singular person seeing your thumbnail, and do they think the thumbnail looks cool? If that single person doesn't really like that, or maybe the other people it showed to, then your video's kind of dead. And it's like, it's always shown to like test audiences first, and then shown more and more and more. But if you fail with those first people, then it's like kind of a bust. So it's like you have to just keep trying and finding what people like.
Yeah, exactly.
And you never know what people like, because it's always changing. No matter how you can read trends, no matter how you can like ask people and whatnot, it's like people have an attention span like this.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people.
Short-term content is popping off right now.
Yeah, shorts and TikToks especially.
Exactly. Also, you never know what people like. You cannot
Yeah,
make
and
a
it's always,
content what
and
everyone will
like,
like.
yeah, and it's like you do need to niche a lot. It's like
Yes.
you can't just fully be general. You cannot make your content be general. Like, it has to at least appeal to someone specific. Or not really someone, like a specific group. Because if you're just trying to appeal to everybody, then when you try something new, a lot of people are just not going to enjoy it.
Exactly. What would you say, what motivates you to do your content?
Because I enjoyed, like, making content got me into video editing, and getting into video editing made me like make a lot of class projects like that, and I find it to be quite a bit of fun. I ended up making this like a tag ad and whatnot for this like fake gubernatorial campaign like project that we did in school. And then it's also like other things like just like seeing the finished products, like writing stuff when it comes to lore and just general content, because it's like you need to have some kind of plan, and like things like that.
Yeah. We talked about shorts, TikTok, and stuff. What would you say, which platform helped you the most growing?
YouTube entirely. I completely dropped Twitch, mostly because I just didn't like some of the policy decisions they were making. But then I also kind of realized that by having my content all on one platform, it really like keeps it consolidated, so I don't have to worry about like YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter. I just have YouTube, Twitter, and then I'll re-upload something to TikTok sometimes. But it's like, for me, it's like YouTube is YouTube, and YouTube is my ride or die. Like, and I don't think I'll ever leave YouTube. I think no matter what flaws YouTube has, they're still better than whatever the competition may be.
Yeah, if
And
it's working for you.
Yeah, and like it's working for me. I found like when it comes to streaming on YouTube, I found ways to get like a lot of the Twitch features that I originally missed, like having channel points and such like that. And like I'm already really close to getting the first step of monetization. So that'll especially launch my my YouTube chat, because super chats and things like that, those are pretty important when it comes to chat, because so that you're not like directly linking someone off site when it comes to donations.
Yeah.
And that can cause a better like return rate and whatnot if it's all in the same place.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You have to tell me how you figured out the YouTube channel points.
Yeah,
After.
I just used a browser extension.
Oh,
It's like you connect that to your YouTube channel through like the Google and whatnot, and then you use the browser extension, and then the browser extension tracks your watch time.
that's cool.
Yeah.
What would
I
you
really like it, and I don't know anyone else who uses it, but it's good. I like it.
Yeah, channel points are great. Are great ways to keep content
Yeah.
within the
It
chat.
keeps people engaged by giving them like it keeps people engaged by giving them their own input onto the stream other than chat. For example, with sound alerts.
Yeah, exactly. They can engage with the stream, and I think it's a good way for the chat not to be bored either, and just have something to come to the chat for.
Yeah, especially since all my chat likes to do is annoy the shit out of me. It's a really great way for them to just like, okay, okay, I can play this, and this will get them real ticked off.
When they are spamming the hydrate constantly.
Yeah. I mean, I always have it on. It's just like when someone actually chooses to use it, it is a little annoying, but I don't mind. It makes good content. If I'm not doing like a lore stream, that's when I actually turn that kind of stuff off.
Yeah. What would you say was the biggest milestone that you reached, and what was your reaction to it?
Oh, that's a good one. Probably my biggest milestone so far. Like it's likely has been that's a real good question. I can't I like it's like I mean, it could be my sub count, it could be like my average viewer count, it could be a certain video I've made, it could be whatever, but I think my biggest milestone.
What's something what you are the most proud of?
I'm proud that I don't want to cop out and say I'm proud of all of it,
That's fair. You
but
know what? You
one
can give
thing,
more answers.
but one thing I'm super proud of probably is like this server I put on every December called the December server. I'm really proud of doing that. It's a really funny bit. Like every single year, I do not end up streaming like in the middle of December, but I do the opening, I do the ending, and I find it a lot of fun. It's like it always gets closed live. I get to mess with people by banning them and whatnot, and people for some reason enjoy it and the psychology behind it of just like, oh well, this is gonna end soon. I mean, what am I gonna do in this short amount of time?
That's,
Like,
that
it's
sounds
like
cool.
you got 31 days. What are you gonna do?
I mean,
Last year it was try to kill me so you could get my my Minecraft character head, or like that. I think that was the big one that we had a big duel at the end. And then this year I don't really like the first episode that I was on for. We apparently made like Gooner City, which I do
oh,
not really understand looking back. Which it's just digging underground, getting rid of all the dirt, and then just being like and just building random dirt structures and being like Gooner City. Yep, and I still don't know like what the ending is gonna be, but I want to do like maybe a 24-hour New Year's stream, so that could be interesting. But I'm not entirely sure yet because we're still like a little ways away. I have to talk to my parents about leaving me alone for 24 hours, and then just like actually planning what I'm gonna do like story wise, because there's no story yet with the server this year. Because at least in the first year it was all like, oh well, we're gonna have all these events and stuff, and then last year it was just okay. we're gonna have a duel at the end. And then this year I was planning on having some mods and having different waves, but I just couldn't get the mods to work because I decided that I didn't want to bother my server sponsor. I was like, okay, I'm not going to bother them and just use the server I have spare, so that way I can like end up using it. And then the server, it just does not work too well with modded and trying to set that up, so I couldn't get it done. But I might just reuse that for the next year.
You can always reuse ideas.
Yeah,
Just
I can.
write it down.
I can always reuse it. It's like I can always reuse it if I do the server again next year. And it's like I'd love to say that I will be doing it again next year, but next year is a year away, and I'm moving out of state. I'm starting university. I'll be having a different job. Like I have no idea what part of my life is going to be here to stay. And that's like a really big one.
Yeah, you never know what next year will bring.
Yeah, I'm moving halfway across the country, and that's kind of like my big one, like that I have real like I wonder what life is gonna be like, especially since like no longer going to the same school, and instead of just just changing schools like most people do, just like going to a university instead of a high school. That's a big one. I mean, other than the fact that I already technically go to university right now, it's just a completely different thing when you're not taking the university classes in a high school setting. It's like no matter how many like college credits you earn, or if you go to a specific school that maybe it like even if it isn't the college, it's like it's not really going to prepare for the actual like uni thing itself. And that's something I'm kind of weird about, because it's like I just started understanding high school and I'm done with high school.
Yeah, it's usually like that. When you get comfortable with something, they are just, yeah, no, let's go to the other challenge.
Yeah, no, next thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The end.
What would you say was something what most people who's watching your content don't know about you?
I'm pretty open when it comes to my content. Like a lot of like I have brought up like before online about like being trans, being an abuse victim, and whatnot. And it's like very little of my life I haven't shared. And while it's like sometimes that isn't like the best thing, but I feel like it's good to be more open when you're a smaller creator, because it's like well, it's the content creation, it isn't like my whole life at this point. Like it's like if I make it a career, then okay, then that is my whole life, and I can just talk about only the content creation. But then I have a life outside of content creation right now, and that's pretty big. But one thing I do struggle with quite a bit is like school wise. Like I've always found like traditional kind of education settings different. So like a lot of the times like I've had to go on streaming breaks because of things like that, and that's been pretty difficult for me, like through school, through parents, through streaming, etc. Because like my parents have often like said that the reason I like have failed classes and whatnot is because of streaming, when it's like instead of like what it actually is being, I'm having a hard time in general, so I'm using this as a way to cope, or I'm just like not able to physically do anything, so I'm just going to do this because it's like a way to kind of fill the void. And that's a big one, but like still kind of don't understand that.
Yeah, parents usually blame electronic devices for
Yeah,
the failing and
especially
stuff.
when they didn't even grow up with a television.
Yeah,
Being
it's
that
hard
old.
to get your parents to understand that, hey, yeah, I need an escape route, and that's why I'm online, that's why I'm playing these video games, and not
Yeah.
just, yeah, this is my whole life and I don't care about studying. It's more like that I'm struggling with
Yeah,
studying,
it's
I need
like
some help.
I care about struggling. I physically can't study. So what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to have a little bit of fun so I don't, feel really bad that I can't.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you, what advice would you give to someone who just starting out with content creation?
Something about the sorry. Earlier I said something about patience, and I think patience is like the really big one, because it's like patience is a big part, and then it's also like you're going to change as a person because of content. Like it's like no matter what you're experiencing in your personal life, you're gonna be opened up to so many like different people. And it's like if you change, you should just end up welcoming it, because like you're obviously not going to be the same person when you start your career as when you're in the middle of it, if you choose to end it, or like at the height of it. So it's like it's always about like being patient and like being open to any kind of changes that can come with that, and being over and just trying to be over accepting of others, because you do not know what's going on with them. And if you do not know, or you do not understand, and it's something that is important to understand, you have to be open-minded to learn about what's going on. Like if it's like issues like with the war in Palestine, or if it's things like um the right for transgender people to exist. It's always about just like if you're a creator, you need to understand that you have to people look up to you, and they're going to ask you for things, and it's like you you should always educate yourself, because then you can continue being open-minded. But then it's also like you should always mention that you're not an expert, you're just a content creator,
Yeah,
because no matter like what you say, you're just some random person on the internet, and you need to accept other people on the internet, and you need to understand that the internet can change you.
exactly. You talked about that some people might look up to you. Do you have any role model or a mentor who supported you during content creation?
Done most of content creation on my own. I mean, I've worked with other people on projects. I've looked up to people that are my friends, but I've never really had like a mentor or whatnot. Like I've worked on L'Manberg the musical, and I very much did look up to my directors and my producers, but that's technically not content. So for the most part, I just look up to the people who I consider to be my friends, and I learn from them. And as much as I love YouTube and watching Twitch and whatnot, I don't do it as much anymore, because I've just been super busy. And it's like about a year ago, or year and a half ago now,
Yeah,
I was super busy with school, and I couldn't watch YouTube, and then that kind of snowballed into not following anything on YouTube, like watching my favorite creators' videos, and that is pretty difficult for me. But so I don't technically have like people I look up to specifically that are creators now that aren't my friends. But even before, I always looked up to like Tommy in it, like and such, and Ted Nivison. Those two are like some of my favorites. So have been some of my favorite creators, and then also Slime School. But for me, the only people I've tended to look up to, like truly, have been my friends.
that's great to have
And
someone
yeah,
around you
it's
who can help and just someone who can like be a kind of role model for you.
yeah, it's like when it comes to friends, you can share things you've learned. You can vent to them if you have something that's going on, and you can learn about whatever together. And like a lot of things I've seen are that people feeling bad that they don't think that like their two favorite creators who like make content together and stuff are not like actual friends like off camera. And that's like kind of sad to me, when it's like because like you want it to feel authentic, but because that is the truth. It and like the only people I really stream with are people who are like actually my friends, unless I've been like matchmaked in events. And even
Yeah,
then I end up becoming, even if I don't know those people, I end up becoming friends with those people, even if we're not like extremely close. It's just like you look up to people who are your friends, and you look up to people who even if they're your acquaintances or you look up to people that you've watched all your life. It's like, but it's usually always your friends and you trying to mold off of them and grow off of them and learn off of them.
Exactly. Was there anything what you thought differently before you started content creation and realized that hey, this is not like that?
Yeah, you always think that things are like black and white, pitch perfect. You never understand that there's like a behind the scenes when you watch a creator. And like I'm kind of saying this as someone who started creation like many years ago before they would even understand that. But it's like you don't you it's like you think it's all like perfect, streamlined, easy and stuff, but when you get into like the nitty-gritty, it's like okay, I don't just record a video or find something how to record a video. I edit it. I try to tell jokes, and then I make thumbnails because at first you're always just like, okay, I'm gonna upload this video, and there's probably gonna be really quiet, like little blocks of silence in between, or you're just like not being really funny. It's just like you feel so awkward about being on camera for like say the first time, and then you do not know what to do when you upload it to YouTube. So you're just like, okay, tap upload, no description, it's just a title of okay, this is what happened, and it's like it's not that simple.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of planning and preparing
Yeah,
for video.
yeah, like I I have when it comes to lore, I have like 50-page documents for my Minecraft servers. And it's like that is a little bit overkill because I am just like that kind of like writer person. But like they do need like that kind of proper planning in place. Like I've
Yeah.
like the amount of Google Drives I've like completely like gone through, or my footage folder being like over a terabyte. It's like there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah. Also figuring out what to do for thumbnail, what to do for title, what
And
should
then
I
like
write
figuring out like,
description.
oh no, it's crunch time. I have these videos that I want to get out before I make my best of the year. I gotta get like a video done a day, which is
Yeah.
what I'm gonna end up doing after Christmas. And like, oh my gosh, it's like there's for me like I think a lot like when it comes to creators at first is it's always done in cycles of between burnout and like creativity and just that kind of thing. Like even the further you go into your career, it's always just cycles of burnout and whatnot. And it's like the only way they can really be decreased and stuff is if you like hire someone to help you with content. And
Yeah.
that's like the only reason why some of the people like that really are able to do this full time is because they hire and people to help them. And it's like and lots of small creators are on their own, and like lots and small creators don't quite realize that at first, because very much at the start you're going to be on your own.
Exactly. Speaking about burnout, have you ever felt demotivated by making content?
Quite my fair share with demotivation and content creation. Um, like for example, like sometimes I'll take like month-long breaks, or I'll like upload like 2 videos in a week and then keep going on that for like a month or two, and then I'll just stop uploading like completely. And it's just like it's just all about like trying to find that balance, especially when you have a life outside of YouTube. That makes it even more difficult to try to figure out that balance, because you have to find the balance between YouTube and then your life, and then you have to find YouTube's balance itself. And like and it's like sometimes I'll have so much demotivation where I'll just like be in bed for days and not really do anything. And it's like it's very, and it's like it's not like you can just get through it. It's very much you have to find strategies to get through it, and you have to ease out of it. And burnout is pretty difficult to get out of once you've gotten into it for a little while. Like slow, like at first it'll be super. It could be pretty easy, a lot easier to get out, but then it just kind of divulges from there, and it gets worse sometimes. And it's like once you kind of get into that, it's like habit almost, or it feels like.
Yeah. Once you're in burnout, it feels like being in a deep hole and you just have to climb out.
Yeah, and then it's like sometimes it just gets worse because someone, oh wait, that's just they're just dropping TNT down the hall.
Just pulling a lemon berg.
Yeah, just okay, so you're actually on a trapdoor. We're gonna pull that trapdoor. You're gonna stay above the trapdoor for like 5 seconds, and then you're gonna fall like you're in a Looney Tunes episode.
Yep, exactly.
You're gonna be like, oh hey, I'm doing good, I'm kinda out there, and then you're just gonna fall all the way down. Like boom.
Exactly. On the lighter note, though, what aspect do you enjoy the most?
By just having fun with my friends. It's like I get to share having fun, some moments of hanging out with my friends, and then I can experience like what I especially enjoy about that is that I can experience it with other people and kind of share what I like with other people, and it's kind of more in like a social standpoint, even though I'm like completely antisocial. Like I'll be like the biggest antisocial person like you've ever met. Like I like throughout high school I had like maybe 2 friends until maybe last year. I mean, not two. I had like no friends until last year. Then I had 2 friends, and now I'm kind of actually figuring out how this making friends things works. And it's like YouTube and everything else is founded on connection. And when you're a small creator, it's all about connection. And once you become a larger creator, it's all about like the people themselves rather or just about you, like what you're giving to them, like what part of you you're giving to them instead of like actually connecting to them. And it's like you can describe being a small creator as a lot more parasocial than a larger creator, but that's just because you can get closer to your community, and it's like there's less of like a dynamic of like um about like how crazy a fan could possibly be for a small creator than a large creator, although like it can happen. It's just like I feel like it's much less likely for someone to say enjoy a smaller creator and be a stan of that creator
Yeah,
than to enjoy a large creator and be a stan of that creator. And it's like there's a lot more connection when it's like when it's like and it's more like you're actually kind of like it feels like you're friends, but it's like not quite parasocial, but that it's not quite friends. Like
yeah,
that's
it's like
how like
more
that's how
deeper connection.
it's
That's why you are a bigger
yeah, it's
streamer
yeah,
because
and
you
like
have time.
and then like with bigger streamers, it's just like there's no real connection there. It's just like you're getting more of the like part of that person because a lot of the time they don't even read their chat because it's going quite that fast.
Yeah, it's hard to follow everyone and know everyone in your chat when you are larger because there are just
Yeah,
so many people. And when you are a small creator, you can just interact with everyone. You have time to interact with everyone,
yeah,
read every message.
you get to be close to them, and I think that's like the draw of watching small creators. Although it's a lot like you just like the content, but then it's also like okay, like eventually it's when it comes to small creators, it's like it starts about just being content, and then it starts becoming a little bit more about the person and the content, and then it's just about the person, and then when you become a large creator, it's just about the content again.
Yeah,
It's like it's like being a small creator is all about connection.
exactly. What would you say if you could have a billboard with anything on it? What would you put on it?
I would probably wait. Does this mean is this like a billboard, like a GIF billboard, or is it like one of those classic billboards?
It's one of those big New York billboards.
Oh, so like the J Schlatt
Yeah,
I
Rambo and
like men.
stuff. Yeah,
So
exactly.
I probably would do something stupid like putting I like men on a billboard, like or just something like it's
Totally
or
valid.
something like keep reading that twink. Like I'm shamelessly gay and I am shamelessly unfunny at times. So I probably would do something stupid like that.
You know what? Fair.
It's like, well, when it comes to a billboard, it's all about shock value. Like, how do you want to shock the people you're trying to reach? And one way I can shock people that I'm trying to reach is talking about male pregnancy.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure
Exactly.
that some people would just stand there and just
Just feel like, no. And then I'd start laughing at them because they're just wrong.
exactly.
They're wrong. They do not understand the complete prowess of my genius.
People have to be more open-minded. That's all.
Yeah, people should just be open-minded in general. Like, even if it's like more or less like some people just aren't, and they're just and not open-minded people are just like, they're not very good people to be around.
Yeah. What would you say was the biggest challenge what you are facing right now?
My biggest challenge right now is this, like, okay, I'm gonna do it content created. My biggest challenge related to content right now is my computer right there is right there. And then also finding that balance between when I can edit videos in school. And then also like trying to like make sure everything looks good for lore, because I just uploaded like a video a few minutes ago and I was like, okay, I gotta make sure this looks good, even though it's like not part of my regularly scheduled Astrii programming. It's just like a surprise lore video. So
We love
it's
surprise
like
videos.
and also like making it incredibly scuffed by screen recording the video editor, so that way I can use the paid assets that I use when I do not have the subscription, but I only have the one-time payment.
The struggle of small streamers.
It's like, guys, come on, I don't make enough money from YouTube. Please just let me screen
Everyone,
record
please
and
subscribe.
totally not rip off.
I can recommend CapCut. There's so many free options.
Yeah, I have way too many editing softwares. I have do I know how to use all of them? No. But I do have Power Director, I have Resolve, I have Filmora, I have Sony Vegas. And at this point I just need to get Adobe Premiere Pro to have the trifecta.
I have 5. I have Premiere Pro, I have CapCut, I have Olive, I have DaVinci Resolve, and I forgot the name of the last one, but I'm using all of them because of different aspects.
Yeah, it's like different ways that you can use them together. It's like
Exactly.
I'd love to have Premiere, but I just can't find the right site to
To
get it
buy
from.
it. What would you think what makes your content unique? Like, if I just go through YouTube and just find your content, why would I stay?
Oh, like I say wild stuff. I just say kind of wild stuff, and my friends say wild stuff, and we kind of just mess around. Like, I don't think you're going to find anyone else on YouTube that makes a city named after a synonym for masturbation. Like, I feel like that speaks enough for itself. Well, like, it's not like the funniest thing I can do. It's like, what the? It's like the shock factor. The shock factor.
So if I want to have a fever dream, then I should watch your content.
Most of the time, yes. Sometimes it's normal, and that's when I make lore videos, and they're too normal because I do too much work on them. Because
That's
I make
valid.
them actually, because I put too much work into my lore videos, and I make them look cool, and I write good lore, and then anything else is just a massive fever dream. It's like it's like, okay, so you're just gonna talk about gay sex for 10 minutes, and then a lore video completely serious, just like people like threatening political stuff.
Nice.
It's just so it's like the duality of a person, you know.
Or, male
They
pregnancy.
yeah, it's just, you can be crazy, and then you can be just like, hello, I'm doing serious things right now. This is like totally serious, and I'm going to begin a 20-page monologue from a musical. I don't know what. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't be a musical. Musicals have music. It's a singing monologue. I like musicals. I'm not trying to make fun of musicals, guys. Please. I'm making fun of myself. I love musicals. I don't want to get destroyed by theater kids.
We should have done a musical podcast.
I was this close to becoming a theater kid.
I am a theater
If I had
kid. It's
if
amazing.
I had friends when I was in acting classes, I would have 100% gone theater kid. Became a theater kid.
Astrii, I can still get you to be a theater kid.
Oh my god.
We are watching
Okay,
musicals after
okay.
this.
Yes. Just give me a few. I'm currently hyper fixated on the Hunger Games.
You know what? Totally valid. Hunger Games is 100%.
Yeah.
What would you say? What's your favorite game on stream and outside of stream?
Okay, outside of stream, my favorite game is Impact Point or Hue. So Impact Point is this like top-down 2D shooter game that's all like retro style, and it's like very basic. You aim with your mouse, you walk around, you have guns and knives and whatnot. Very kind of basic game. And then there's Hue, and it's this game where it's like it's a puzzle game, and to complete it, you control colors. Like you choose a color, and then that's the color you don't see, and then you choose a color, and then you can see that color, but you can't see that color, and then you use that to get through the puzzles in the game. And then on stream, my favorite game I've ever streamed probably has been Bendy and the Ink Machine, and I've done it quite a few times. And then there's also like Choo Choo Charles, like that was probably one of my more insane series. And like even though that totally did not take 6 months to fully stream,
Jeez.
and like because I kept getting busy in the middle of it.
That's valid.
So
do you have any content planned for the future?
I have a couple of yes, I have. Okay, what can I share? So I'm working on the caverns right now. That is very public. That is very out of wraps. The Caverns is this Minecraft roleplay style TV show that is like fully that I'm planning on having it fully be in replay mod and fully voice acted with full on built sets. And it's this it's this adventure kind of high fantasy thing that I'm working on with my friend Slime Boy. And we made like this world where there's like this giant pit, and within it are these caverns, and they have like magical different like biomes, and they have like all these like magical relics and artifacts. And we're planning on launching that in the new year, but we're still looking for a couple of voice actors, and we still need to like finish the first couple of scripts. And then we also need to make the Minecraft map, which from what I'm thinking, I think it's just entirely going to be just finishing up like maybe 2 or 3 things, and then just copy and pasting everything with World Edit.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, it's like I could make it like pretty in depth, but my whole thing with the caverns is that it's like it's not about like the actual city. It's all about these caves, and with these caves, I've found a way to just pretty much completely generate them with the mods we did choose. So that is one thing that is very, very helpful.
That sounds awesome. I can't wait to see it in the future.
Yeah, we've currently been like looking for voice actors, and we finally got one for this role that we're trying to use for a lot of the promotional stuff. And I can't wait to start testing him in his role. So it's going to be interesting.
Awesome. What would you say? What's your goals with content creation. It doesn't have to be number related, it can just be something what you want to achieve.
I think I've achieved like most of all I want to achieve with content. Like I have a community that I love. I've met some amazing friends that are like my greatest support system. Like I have people I can hang out with on stream. I like the only thing really that's left for me is like actual physical milestones, or like being able to like produce certain shows like the Caverns, or my mind, or some of the SMPs that I make. Like those are really like the only things I have left to do, because like I feel very, very much satisfied with what I have now, because everyone is like amazing. Everyone that I've met is like very nice. Like other than like the lone person who's like treated me like absolute dog shit, I've like met like such amazing people.
That's nice.
Mhm.
What's your favorite food in the world?
Okay, that is like a very out of left corner thing. I was thinking this is a smaller streamer podcast,
Look, everyone has a
but
favorite
I
food.
am okay, but I am absolutely feral for mac and cheese. I can eat mac and cheese every single day. I don't have it enough anymore, but I need mac and cheese.
I don't think that I ever eat mac and cheese.
It's good. It's like heaven. It's like you get that cheddar cheese and you get that pasta.
I have to try it one day.
You should.
How can our listeners find you online?
I can be found on Twitter reluctantly. I'm kind of just watching Twitter crash and burn for the most part at this point, and then also because a lot of my audience is on Twitter, and then also on YouTube and Discord, and that's all under the handle Astrii Live. But an even easier way to reach me is just going to linktr.ee/Astrii, and I have like everything there. I have my casting call club with all my auditions and my writing and voice acting experience. I think I edited it just recently and I don't remember what's on it now.
And I will also
But
put your socials in the description.
yes. So I don't remember what's all on it. Let me just pull it up. And then I also can, I think that's about it now. And then I'm also found on Instagram. I for the most part, I just post stories about like random stuff that's going on, like what I'm doing currently with my computers, complaining about life, like what's going on behind the scenes with the Caverns, etc.
Oh,
So,
thank you for joining us, Tree.
of course, thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.